move up a little bit from Juno Beach Cafe. We're going to move a little bit north and introduce you to the proprietor of Bistro in Jupiter at the Driftwood Plaza. And I love the saying that they have at Bistro. There are no strangers here, only friends who have not met yet. And Declan Hoctor is the proprietor, and he is with us right now on Taste Local. Hi, Declan. Thanks so much for waiting. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Are you in a closet? What are you?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't believe in wasting space in an office. So basically, it's pretty tight in here.
I love it. Okay, in case you didn't notice, Declan has an Irish brogue. You think?
Absolutely.
Actually, the first time I met you was way before Bistro. It was when you had Rollies.
Correct. Yeah, that's 22 years ago now, that would be.
And that was at the Oakwood Plaza in Palm Beach Gardens. Many people know the space now as Duffy's.
Sure, yeah, that's right. We built that in 1998. It was a kind of an upscale bistro, whatever. We had the same restaurant name in Ireland. And we've had that one for 29 years, I believe, right now. This was a restaurant by the same name. Similar cuisine, just turned out to be a little bit too big. So it was a 14,000 square foot fine dining restaurant, which in a seasonal market is probably not the wisest thing in the world to do. But
yikes.
Yeah. So, but we sold it to Duffy's in 2002 when they were just, starting out as a statewide chain, and they were looking for what they called a flagship. Restaurant, and they chose.
Was that their first location?
It was, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they had the Duffy's down on the railroad tracks, where the partnership originated. But first under the Paul Emmett, Steve Cranauer, ownership was Rollies, yeah.
Speaking of Duffy's, and I don't want to really talk about Duffy's, but everybody's asking if they're going to be reopening. Do you have any knowledge?
No, I'm surprised as well that they weren't open or whatever during the whole COVID, because they certainly had a menu that would have been suitable for takeout. But
yeah,
I know pretty well, but I haven't really discussed it with them, so I don't know.
So anyway, you did that, and then you went up north and found this really great property, a little bit set back, but lovely place. And it's called Bistro. It used to be the Bistro. You drop the, just like Facebook dropped the.
There you go. See?
Facebook.
I might have done it before Facebook, but that's good. I'll claim the credit for that.
Yeah, you did do it before Facebook. 2002 is when you opened. So you're celebrating 18 years.
Yeah, that's pretty, my kids are almost finished college now, and when they started, they were, weren't up past my knee. So I guess that's a long time.
Yeah.
But it's been good. I mean, we've expanded a couple of times since then. We started off with 60 seats, and we have 190 seats inside now, and about another 100 outside.
Wow.
Outside bar, you described it in the intro with the pond and the water features and fiber optics and all that kind of stuff. But it's and then we can provide private dining rooms as well, which not a lot of places have. So we do quite a bit of financial seminars and rehearsal dinners and all sorts of different styles, birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of thing. But they help to keep us busy at the quieter times.
Yeah, and I've got pictures that we'll show in just a minute. But you, it's not an Irish restaurant. It's more European cuisine, American and European. What would you describe it?
Well, we kind of call it continental American, and it does have some Irish flavors. But our chef trained in the Savoy Hotel in London for 7 years, and so he's got a great grasp of a lot of great cuisines. I mean, he's very comfortable doing everything. But basically it's a lot of local seafood, although we have branched into cold water fish now as well, like we do Alaskan halibut and sea bream and stuff like that, because there is a market for that, because you get so much seasonal people down here who like their cold water fish. mean, Dover sole, we've done that since day one. It's a fresh one that we do. I know a lot of places do the frozen one, but we do the fresh. It's, noticeably different. But, it's basically, that's been one of our signature dishes. And then, we do dishes like beef Wellington, which you don't really find too many places. And, we often try specials, like, and when we get a really good reception for those, we often include those in the menu next time around. Probably 4 or 5 dishes that are on the menu since the first, time that we opened. But if you don't change the menu, then you end up with fatigue and people with the same stuff. So, and they're not behind the door, as they would say in Ireland, about telling you, what they like and what they don't like. So we listen, and there's not much point in putting on dishes that we like. We want to put on dishes that the customers like. So.
Right. And so they've spoken about that Dover sole. Do you do that tableside?
We started off doing tableside, whatever, boning into the table and, all that sort of stuff. But it was so popular that we found whatever that, we could have tables of 8 or 10 people and 6 of them or 7 of them could order Dover sole. By the time you're finished deboning it at the table, the first person's is cold.
Right.
So we moved to boning it in the kitchen. And, basically it comes out piping hot. And, we like to put, a little theater in our service, when we can, but we also, want the food to have, to be at its optimum when it gets to the customer. And we felt that it was better for us to do it in the kitchen and maybe serve it hot. I mean, it's a pet peeve of mine since I was a kid. I love everything hot. I don't mean tepid. I just like it hot. And I think it's an Irish thing, whatever, but I hate food that isn't hot. When it's supposed to be hot. Obviously, I like cold food as well, but it's when it's supposed to be cold, not when it's supposed to be hot.
And do you have any Irish food on the menu?
Yeah, we do a couple of dishes. We do a great fish and chips, and we use a haddock for that, which is
I love haddock.
Yeah, it's more of a traditional dish to use. Like, you wouldn't get too many people. A lot of people use Atlantic char, I think, here for their fish and chips. We use haddock, fresh haddock, and we do a curry lamb pie, which is basically braised leg of lamb with root vegetables in a juniper berry and rosemary jus. And then it has a pastry bonnet on the top, and that's really good. That's one of those dishes that a lot of people ask for, especially on any kind of rainy, cold nights, which we've had a lot of lately. Nights. But then we do a calves liver, which again is another really popular dish that we put on as a special that we ended up putting on the menu because we got such a response, and kind of blew me away about how many ladies order it. I thought it was kind of more of a man's dish. And I'm not sexist in any way, but I just thought it was a man's dish, whatever. Like liver, a lot of people might be, put off by the thoughts of liver, but I mean, the amount of women who order it's full of iron, so it's really good for women. So, but I mean, that's been on the menu ever since.
Well, especially if it's paired with a nice wine, and you have a hell of a wine list. We
do, and I used to do that myself. I used to select all the wines and taste them all and drink them all. But and now I have Luis Martinez. He's been with me now since he was 19 years old, and he's 34 now, I believe. And he's a manager, and he's a second-tier sommelier. So, Louis is, really, really good at finding, good quality wines and at good prices too. You don't have to spend a lot of money to find good wine, which, he likes to taste them. So, he does a lot of tasting. So he gets to find good ones that we can put on at competitive prices, and we sell them by the case as well, retail, and we're definitely more competitive than the big boys or whatever, because it's kind of a side business for us as opposed to a staple. But,
in fact, you have a phenomenal wine cellar, or is that what you want to call it?
Yeah, absolutely.
There, and we do have a picture of that. But have you resumed the wine tastings? You were doing wine tastings on Thursdays or something?
Yeah, we do them once a month, or basically they're $10 is what we charge for them, which is nothing really, because we pair an hors d'oeuvre with each one. We usually do 4 to 6 wines, and what we do is we charge $10, but if you stay and have dinner we don't charge you at all. So basically, we haven't gone back into them yet, but we are planning to do it. I believe in August, because we're still at like 50% capacity where we are, and we've taken out a lot of tables, and you know practice the 6 feet distance or whatever between tables, and we have a lot of outside tables, which is a great benefit to us right now.
Yeah.
And we've taken out probably, I think we normally have 25 bar stools, and I think right now we have 8, so that we can basically practice the social distancing there. But basically, it'd be hard to do a wine tasting with 25 or 30 people and maintain the 6 feet distance. But we think that we can do it if we limit it to 20 people. We normally have 35, so we were going to do that at the end of August is the first one, and then we'll get back into the rhythm of doing that. And as soon as it's safer again, we'll go back up to the 35% max. But
it's a phenomenal deal. And
yeah,
it's like I was saying at the beginning of the show, it's such a beautiful place that unless you parked and you walked into the little area, you don't know that there's a waterfall and these palm trees and this whole gorgeous tropical oasis basically waiting. And why don't we just bring up some pictures now? I think Ruby can throw them. It doesn't matter which pictures, Ruby. Oh, there it is. Look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, there's an outside bar over there, just behind those umbrellas. That seats about maybe 12 or 14 people at the outside. And then there's high tops just to the right of those where people can sit and have, bar drinks there. Because of the, COVID now, we've extended the happy hour to all the tables as well. And we give 30% off all our appetizers and 20% off all our entrees up until 6:30 every night, everywhere. So, and then happy hour pricing for drinks is available at the tables as well. And we'll probably do that right through the summer just to help people get back on their feet after the crisis. And so far we've been busier than we would have been the same time last year since we reopened. But that's like a combination of people eating in, and we're still doing quite a bit of takeout. We stayed doing that all the way through. And I think we built up a lot of goodwill with people because, we weren't making money doing it, but, there's a lot of people who were grateful for the fact that you were doing it. And, we were happy to be able to.
People are still afraid. A lot of people are still afraid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we still see that. It's amazing. You can go to some places and, there's very little concern for it. But then you go to another place and, everybody's wearing masks and they're wearing gloves and whatever else, and you can go somewhere else and they're not. So it's just,
Are your servers wearing masks?
Yes, everybody wears masks or whatever here, when they come in, and all the way through service, and even in the kitchen. When the chefs are working together, they're all wearing masks and latex gloves. And we brought in a bunch of touch-free sanitizing units or whatever, so you can literally put sanitizer on your hands all the time. And
like this kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Just put your hand out and it just kind of jets it out automatically. It's battery kind of operated, but those kind of things, it helps put people's minds at rest. And they have commented on the fact that they're conscious of it, and they're grateful for the fact that we're taking it seriously, and they can see how many tables we've taken out to make it safer. So. But, because it's the summertime, it doesn't hurt you too much, whatever, to be only at 50% capacity, because you're moving into the quieter time of the season anyway. So better to be safe, even if you're using an extra room that you wouldn't have normally used, to be able to give, the space is a plus, Not everybody can do that.
Yeah. Let's take a look at some of the pictures of the food. We have more pictures. There's your Dover sole.
My Dover sole. Jeez, I'm getting hungry just looking at that.
Beautiful. And tell me about that potato cake.
That's an almond potato cake. It's basically potato puree on the inside, and then it has an almond panko crust.
Gorgeous.
And basically then it's, just finished in the fryer. And then, asparagus tips. And we do it with a Munir sauce. It's a lemon butter white wine sauce, whatever, nice and light.
And if you saw the lemon, it has the that gauze thing on it. That's attention to detail. That's care.
Yeah.
That you don't get your lemon pits on your fish.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
what you would see, but when I was working in restaurants in Palm Beach back in the day, I mean, a fish didn't leave the kitchen without that.
Yeah. I mean, we
lemon
do a great job on presentation or whatever. I feel like, we like to go the extra mile. Like, I mean, we want to kind of excel as opposed to, just do the minimum. Like we just want to, go that extra level. I think we class ourselves as an upscale bistro, but we definitely try and keep a more casual atmosphere. There's a
Yeah.
very kind of family friendly kind of, it's not over the top with service, but it's, it has an attention to detail, but it's casual at the same time.
Okay, Ruby, some more pictures.
Yeah, that's our tuna, sesame seed tuna with the seaweed salad and wasabi and ginger. That's the best tuna. I mean, I've had tuna everywhere, tuna pokies, sesame seed, it's sushi grade. I mean, it's so good, and that soya ginger glaze is like, delicious. That's a bistro salad. That's our house salad basically, and it's served in a wonton basket down at the bottom. You can see that. That's just, wonton pastry, over the back of a bowl and baked in the oven, and then it just creates this beautiful, like, basket. And we just put the greens in there. It's got a really light honey mustard dressing.
I have never seen a presentation like this. I love this. This is just stunning. And that's Paul Hughes, right? That's
Paul. Yeah, he trained under Antoine Edelman, was the French chef in the Savoy, and like Paul is, I mean, he's the most even-tempered. He's a partner in the business now.
An even-tempered chef?
Yeah, exactly. They're between, but Paul is generally, I mean, he'll have his moments, from very rarely though, but he's a great teacher, and we've brought a lot of people on through the business in 18 years who have gone on to be head chefs or restaurant owners or sous chefs other places, private chefs. We've had one who went on to be Greg Norman's private chef. So
wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got a great attention to detail, and he's a great teacher.
Yeah. And let's go back to that last one you were going to show us. There we go. The pièce de résistance.
Yeah, you got the Grand Marnier soufflé in the background and the chocolate soufflé in the foreground. And, it's basically, you can see how high it rises, makes it really light. And, you can add the sauce to it. We put that, just, bury a hole in the top of the soufflé and then literally pour the sauce in, and then use the spoon to take the cream out and put it on the top. That's how we present it at the table. And like, that's just amazing. We would get a lot of people who dine other places and come for the desserts. So, but you can't eat here every night, so that's fine with us.
Does it take a long time? Do you have to order the soufflé in advance?
Actually, we haven't done probably in about 15 minutes. And, the protocol during service is to ask you when you're about halfway through your entree if anybody is interested in soufflés, so that they will come out at the same time as other desserts, just to give us that little bit of a heads up and make sure that you don't have to wait, after you finish your entree. And the next one coming up I saw was a chocolate bundt.
Yeah,
like a warm chocolate bundt, and it's got almond sprinkles and a raspberry coulis, and topped off with a vanilla ice cream. I mean, that's my kids' favorites. They don't go anywhere without their chocolate bundt cake.
Bundt, a bundt.
A bundt. Yeah, that's the Irish German cake. It's a
Greek. It's beautiful. Oh, and there it is, the escargot.
Somebody told me about 5 years ago you can't have a French bistro without serving escargot, so we put them on as a special again, and they were received so well. We end up putting them on the menu, and they've been on the menu ever since. So, I mean, loaded with garlic for sure. And that's our filet mignon, and we offer, like, we do prime meats, whatever, we do Delmonico's and ribeyes, and Delmonico's and New York strips, and then 2 different size fillets, a 6 ounce and an 8 ounce, and then we offer the twice baked potato is included in the price of the steak, and then you get a choice of a béarnaise or rosemary or peppercorn sauces, and that's the filet mignon. That's the 6 ounce. It's delicious. French onion soup again. Can't have a bistro without a French onion soup, and crispy brown on the outside. I mean, that's just the way it has to be. I mean,
Yummy
yeah.
cheese. Yum, yum. I'm like so hungry right now. And I think we have a couple of pictures of the interior too, if I'm not mistaken. Look how beautiful. This is the bar area.
Right. That's the bar area. And then, basically it seats about 25, 30 people. And we have a great happy hour. And, we have high top tables in the bar. And like you'll see the stand on the left with the wines. There are some of the wines that we offer like by the case. And we put 25 or 30 of them on display and then put the prices on them so people can see, and we don't mind mix and match cases. But if you buy less than a case, I think there's a $2 upcharge on a bottle. Because breaking cases with the distributors, they charge that. So we
okay.
But if you mix and match up to 12, we don't charge that. That's the actual wine cellar, and the layout that we would do for either a private function or a wine dinner. Inside, you can see the one larger window and one smaller window. There's a separation in wine cellar for all the whites and the champagnes, so it's kept at the right temperature, and then all the reds are kept in the main section. And it's done around the world. Basically on the left hand side it starts off with the California blends, and then you go into Italy, Spain, France, Argentina. We've got wines from like Australia, Chile. We got wines from Texas. I didn't even know they made wines in Texas, but I believe they make some good ones. And a couple from New York, up around the Hamptons area. And then a lot of French, and we just have a really good selection. And as I said, Louis he's the man now. I've retired as the wine taster, and
can I come over? I'll be the wine taster.
We'll just take his recommendations and drink them. He tastes them all. So I don't like spitting out wine. He seems okay with that, but I'm not.
Well, I just want everybody to know that you're very popular already, but because, like I said, because it's sort of hidden back in that Driftwood Plaza, there still are people who haven't discovered Bistro, just like people who haven't discovered local dines. It blows my mind. We've both been in business for 18 years, but there's still people who haven't discovered us.
I know. That's a good thing. It's frustrating, and it's a bad thing as well, as being a good thing. It means that there's more people out there that you can tap into and basically introduce the place to, and usually if we get you once, we'll get you back again and again. So that's a positive. But it is frustrating that you talk to people and they say, where are you, and you tell them, and they could know another restaurant in the plaza but don't know you, and you've been around for so long. So that's fine. I mean, we've been successful, and the fact that we're here 18 years, we must be doing something right. So
yes, you have. Well, do you have like an Irish joke, a clean Irish joke to take us out of the show?
There's no such thing as a clean Irish joke. You never know. I have plenty of the other variety, but none of the clean ones.
It's an internet show. I don't think anybody cares.
No, I mean, you mentioned it at the beginning, whatever, like with the mantra is there's no strangers, only friends who haven't met, and we make it our business to try and introduce people to each other who we think might know each other. We remember the drinks that you like and the server that you like and where you like to sit, and that's part of the Irish hospitality, I guess, and I think that's what brings it back. We had a couple of great maitre d's in our early days. One in particular, Liam Brown was his name, and fortunately he passed away a couple of years, but he was definitely a major part of our success because of his personality and the way he just networked with people, and no matter where you were from, it would only take him a few minutes to figure out someone he knew that you knew, and that was a major plus for us in the area.
I know people like that. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you can have the best food in the world, but if your experience and the people who run the place aren't loving, friendly, you're never going to go back.
Yeah, I know, and it's important to open the doors for them when they come in, open the doors for them when they're leaving. Always have someone there to say goodbye. They're small things, but exactly. they add up.
Detail on the plate, detail from the moment they walk in.
Right, absolutely. And Louis is fantastic as well. He, as I said, he's with us a long time, but he's got a great disposition, and he's never in bad form. He's always in good form, and the customers love them, and it's a positive. And we've got a lot of staff that have been with us a long time. We've got strength in every area, so my job is a lot easier now than it would have been 18 years ago because we've got so many good staff. So.
Yeah. Well, I wish you another 18.
Thank you. You too.
I don't know if I want to do it for another.
No, I'm definitely not going to be here for 18 years. I'm trying to find a nice island in the middle of the Indian Ocean.
Once in the restaurant biz, always in the restaurant biz. You can't get out. You're handcuffed. You can't.
Very true. Very true.
And I will always be passionate about the restaurant biz, but I'll just do it in another way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Always want to support local. But Declan Hoctor, thank you so much. Continued success. We got the website up there, thebistrojupiter.com. Go visit Declan. Go have some wonderful wines, delicious food, and support local. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you.
Sláinte.
Sláinte. I like it. I wish I had a beer now. You can't sláinte to water. That's
sacrilegious. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye now.
Okay. Bistro Jupiter is located at the Driftwood Plaza. And you saw pictures of the food. You saw pictures of the indoors and the outdoors. Now you go there. Maybe that will be your restaurant that you've never been to before in our Save Local Restaurants Challenge. I'm going to challenge you every single week. I'm going to say, did you go to a new restaurant this week? I just want you to go to one a month. I'm not going to be overly asky, but just one per month. Try one new restaurant per month. You will expand your horizons, and you will be able to cross some stuff off your bucket list and support more local restaurant owners.